Hey yo, welcome back to the channel. As usual, put up a sandbag and sit on down, as today we're going to be looking at some US Army basic training. So I was looking through my analytics. You guys seem to really enjoy the British Army basic training. It was one of my first ones I ever did, so please don't judge. If you want to watch it, you can watch it. Bing! There. Go watch it. It's not terrible. It's terrible. But hey, we are going to start somewhere, okay? So without further ado, I guess, let's just jump straight into it, I guess.
Why are you moving? Why are you moving?
We're getting straight into it then. Dude's breathing, leave him alone. Oh god.
This is
He's
Army
lost.
Boot
No, I'm
Camp.
joking.
Before they join the United States Army, all recruits have to graduate from a 22-week program known as One Station Unit Training, also known as OSIT.
Okay, 22 weeks, that's a little longer than British Army basic training.
A 182,000-acre military installation that
How
straddles
big?
the Alabama-Georgia border about
Yeah, I've said this before and I'll say it again. America is too fucking big. Okay, there's so much land there.
miles southwest.
Such a landmass.
Every year, more than 18,000 soldiers
Wow,
graduate.
that's a
or join
lot.
the more than 470,000 people actively serving in the Army.
13, 14, 15.
So I'm trying to sort of like look for little differences here and there.
Although most of the recruits that we saw during our time there were male, recruits trained together in gender-integrated platoons.
Okay, so as of current, it's only started to be introduced in the British side, allowing females into the infantry. I believe there's some little sort of like social experiment that they're trying out. I have a prediction that I'm going to keep to myself. But yeah, during my basic training and like support roles and stuff like that, like yeah, male and female, different troops, obviously different accommodation and stuff like that. Primarily, everyone trains together, like, so same but different.
Men and women that volunteer to serve, they show up to us as civilians, and then we take them through a transformative process to turn them into soldiers.
You just go to position of attention and you stay in position of attention.
On a rain-soaked
Oh, something I forgot to mention as well. It did say 22 weeks there, so my basic training was 14 weeks. Other places are longer. If you go to the Foundation College in Harrogate, that can be like a year. I think it's a year, something like that. So
week in February, we spent 4 days inside the Army's Maneuver Center of Excellence, which trains soldiers to serve in the infantry and armor branches. We saw different companies at various stages of training.
oh, I like that. I do like that. That's fucking cool.
On day one, new infantry recruits on a bus from the Atlanta airport arrive at the 30th
Okay,
AG
so
Battalion headquarters.
we're in day one.
All new recruits.
Let's see what happens on day one.
Listen up. You ain't got one to hear from you at this point. It's yes, drill sergeant, no drill sergeant. Do you understand? Yes,
Sort of similar.
I tell you, you will pass your folders to the front.
The minimum
Yep.
age to enlist in the Army is
So when I did my basic, we got picked up from a train station. There wasn't as much shouting because it was in sort of like a civilian populated area, so there wasn't much shouting. That obviously came later on.
17, and the maximum age is 35. The base salary for an entry-level private is about $20,000 a year.
20,000 a year. How much is that in Doctor Who money? Let's find out. Just over 15 grand in UK spec money, if you want. And so I will put the pay grades for a private starting out in basic training in the British Army, bing, here.
30 seconds. Hurry up, pound your back.
Okay, so this is day one and they're straight into it, right? So there is a difference already for me during my basic. Yeah, everything was like at pace, but it wasn't sort of like in your face at pace. They usually waited until you'd got like your jabs. Literally, as soon as you got your jabs, that's it. Pff, game over. Your fucking ring piece belongs to the instructors, and yeah, they let you fucking know about it.
The first order of business is establishing the code of conduct.
Because I promise you, if you don't pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, you're going to make your army...
Listen to the man.
short. You treat everybody with dignity and respect, regardless of race, religion, color, national origin, gender,
Yep, that's the same.
next category. Yes? Yes, Drill Sergeant! Sexual assault is any unwanted physical contact in a sexual nature. So if you put your hands on another individual and you're not
you're out.
to, you're not saving their life,
You're gone.
they file sexual assault, and it comes down that you put your hands on this individual when you weren't supposed to, that is going to be on you. You will get kicked out of the military.
If
and you'll probably
if anyone fucking disagrees with that, just honestly, just get to fuck. Just keep your hands to your fucking self. It's not hard, man.
have to
It's not
file
fucking hard, is it?
registered sex offender. Do you understand?
Good, and so you fucking should.
Before they go inside, the new recruits learn some basic commands and standing positions.
Okay, that's quite similar. When we received our initial, just before we received our initial issue, doing all the paperwork and stuff like that, getting marched over to our accommodation where we'll be staying, it wasn't anything like directed. It was more, let's see who can march and who can't, who might need a little bit of help. I think that might be the process behind that. But yeah, we ended up marching from where we handed our shit in, basically got measured up for our uniform, over to the accommodation.
You should be able to fit a slice of pizza in between your toes. If you look around, they're gonna see you. Cause you're taller than everyone else!
You should have French fried, but you pizzaed. You're gonna have a bad time.
Gonna have a bad time.
So where's the part where we have a good time?
Quickly! Who wants this Let's go! Move your feet! Grab one and go. It's all the same.
The recruits grab
That's a bit of scran.
waiting for them inside, consisting of
Okay.
a fruit cup.
I'm assuming then they got there quite late. It did look dark, didn't it?
Watch the video. Remain silent.
Since 1775, the Army has been the bearer of our nation's
I got my dress boxes, dude. That was such a film. It was great.
conflict. Make no mistake about it, the journey you are embarking upon will not be easy. But you wouldn't
True.
be here if we didn't think you couldn't meet the challenge.
Listen up for your last 4-year social.
After being
So in that video, there was like a little introduction type thing, but it was more of a personal thing done by like an officer or something like that. I'd be like, "Hey, yes, welcome to basic training." So that's slightly different. There were some like videos and stuff like that afterwards, basically showing you what you'd be doing in the next 14 weeks, and sort of like putting out a timeline of those events. So a little bit different.
welcomed, recruits
They might
begin
also
what's
miss something on this video, so
processing, which can take 1 to 2 weeks before their actual training begins.
A
oh,
little bit, we'll give you a period to go in a room by yourself.
First, they're given one last chance to discreetly dispose of prohibited contraband like drugs,
Okay.
alcohol, tobacco, and
that's interesting. So in our basic training, we were allowed to smoke. They would punish us by putting like smoking bans in. What else is on there? So we've got, that's just any sort of tobacco product really in it, any sort of like nicotine and stuff like that. So interesting. That's a difference, but I can see why they do it.
inappropriate photographs.
If any photo you possess on your phone is less than a bathing suit, you will not have it. You will delete them all.
Recruits get rid of contraband
No, we won't.
where they dispose of it by throwing it down a metal chute.
You just throw the phone down there. There's too many pictures. Just bin the phone.
The next
Oh,
morning,
$7
to the barber shop.
for what's that? $7 for a 1 all over. Is that a bargain? Is it must be quite easy being a barber at this place. It's literally just number 1 all over. Thank you very much. See you in a bit.
Where one barber has worked at Fort Benning for almost 60 years.
Thank you for your service.
63. That's a long
63,
time.
damn.
I should've been retired a long time ago, but I wake up in the morning now, be wanting to come out here and go to work.
Fair play to you, man.
Recruits are issued uniforms. They receive
Okay.
a series of immunizations.
Wow.
and vaccines.
That's very sort of. I'm trying to remember my vaccines. So it was like, I was very like Star Wars. One of the episodes, I can't remember which, you just see him like going down the line and getting built. Was it episode 2? They're just getting down the line and built. It's like, yeah, next, right, these two, and yeah, shit, fuck off, next. And then just doing it again. I wonder if there's more needles further down the line, because I got stabbed by needles so many fucking times during those first few weeks.
And get their official photo taken. Along with
We
myriad
didn't get one of those
details
at
fill
Purbright.
up their 1 to 2 week stay in processing.
But I know places like Catterick and Harrogate, I think you
That
do.
is until processing ends. and the time
And your ass is mine.
arrives.
Let's go. Grab your bags and go.
We found a company of recruits about to begin training in the armor school.
Those are bridle.
These recruits are about to be picked up.
Okay, so that's a little different. So when you get to basic in the British Army, you are already within your troop. You're already within your sort of like troop lines. You're already, you know, your bed's there. That's it. But then again, this place is huge. It's absolutely huge. So I can see why they do this a little bit different to us.
Barracks, where they'll reside for the rest of their training.
Also, we didn't get a chance to put. There was a certain amount of things that we managed to ram in the bags during the what we called the initial issue. We had a certain amount of time to try and get everything in there as much as you could, and everything else you just stack on top, and you would be sort of chased back to the rooms. People losing stuff, people dropping stuff, just that sense of urgency early on, I guess.
Let's go. You guys are going to the front. Let's go.
This
To
is
get
the
a bus
last
to your
chance for
accommodation,
recruits to
that place
change
must be
their
so
minds
big.
before training begins. Like one recruit who decided
Oh,
to
dude, we
stay
know.
behind.
Like if you work so hard to get to just this position now, I mean, okay, the 2 weeks in, he's been jabbed up, he's ready to go. Just go give it a try. Just go give it a try. Don't. There was some times where I thought, I can't do this. I can't do this. Survived in the military for 9 years until I was medically discharged. So honestly, it's worth it. Give it a go. You've worked so hard to get there. Just send it. Go hard.
This short bus ride from processing to their new barracks will be the most peaceful moments these recruits will experience for a while. What happens next is known as the shark attack.
So I have heard that they don't do this anymore.
Hey, go, son.
Might have changed.
You won't run. Everyone, you freaking go.
But look at that. Immediately. Sense of urgency.
They say what? Get your
If you're not panicking, like... Okay, right. So there's a massive difference already. Here in the British Army, this wouldn't be happening. It would... It's a lot less... It's a lot more tame, rather. Yeah, you get screamed at. Yeah, you get shouted at. But it's not as often as one would think. But here, I understand why they do or did the shark attack, rather. And it's basically just getting that sense of urgency in you. It's installing that discipline. There is a range of things that this is doing, and I think the British Army should do more of this. It might be different for infantry. If you're infantry, let me know. But for us, it wasn't quite like this.
Well, it's really just a little shock to the system, so we can break them down to build them back up.
See, that's a massive common phrase that is used over here as well. When you go to basic, they're going to break you down and they're going to build you back up into what they need. So, similarities. He's about to grab his chubby little face. Give me a face.
And nothing better than a little shock to the system to establish that drill sergeant
Is he putting on his fucking makeup? Yeah, I'm gonna make you look real pretty there, boy.
is in charge to let us start our training.
Pick up your bag and hold it.
The recruits spend much of the shark attack holding their
Stress positions and stuff like that.
above their heads,
So,
which
when I went through, I believe that stress positions weren't a thing. There's an argument for and against that, I guess, as a punishment. You won't do this shit again, but at the same time, stress positions may cause unnecessary injury, blah, 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 blah.
takes a physical toll.
Why is that so difficult? You can't pick that bag up. You decided to join the army and you can't pick that bag up.
That's it, make him real small. Oh, our man's back.
After about 20 minutes, the intensity begins to subside.
He's struggling, but he's doing it. And you can too.
Drill sergeant's tone changes
We only produce the best soldiers in the United States Army.
for training officially
No, it's in...
begins.
No, it's not in the world. That's because, you know, that's us. I feel like I'm going to get some shots fired on that one.
After the shock and awe of the shark attack, things do appear to calm down.
Is it a video?
It's a movie.
See, this is what it's all about, is that camaraderie when you get together and just, I mean, they're all having a bit of a crack at this at these guys filming them and stuff like that. So they're just having a little bit of a crack. It honestly, after a few weeks when you're in probably British military, my basic training, sort of like after week 6 is where it sort of like starts to decline ever so slightly. Not all the way, but ever so slightly.
3, 4, 7. I always wanted to be a star.
We found this group
Hell
of
yeah.
soldiers
Well, you're a star now, brother.
Training, practicing on the firing range. The mood was much more relaxed.
Try to get 8 up on my level.
And their
Oh yeah, some of the banner that you have with your section commanders as well.
At normal volumes, like when this drill sergeant educated the recruits on the meaning of the military expression "8 up."
Is a piece of 8 up gum good? You don't want something that's 8 up, right? You want something fresh.
That'd be interesting. I want to see differences between sort of like British Army slang and US Army slang. That'd be cool.
Break the seal, smells like olive oil, right? Okay.
That dynamic changes because we want the soldiers to become more critical thinkers. At that point, we are turning into more coaches and mentors. We dial it back.
That's it. Even though you're part of a team, you still need to be able to think individually. Don't just rely on someone to tell you.
Receptive to learning and performing at that level.
So another similarity. Speed loaders. Similarity.
Hours of infantry OSIT are devoted to marksmanship, where recruits fire about 2,500 rounds using the
Decent.
M4 carbine.
I wouldn't want to pick up all that brass
as well
though.
as the M249 squad automatic weapon, or SAW.
We create lethality. We create expert marksmen at their individual weapons because
These guys are infantry, they're obviously doing more infantry-based stuff, whereas my basic training was basic soldiering. That camera is doing my fucking nothing, and I need to find out why it's doing that. Get a grip. But yeah, so obviously they're doing more infantry-based things, whereas in the support role, you do the basic infantry stuff, but it's not as drilled into you, say, as obviously being in the infantry. And
that's what we're asking them to do.
the gas chamber, okay.
Painful parts of training out of the way early.
Once we check your seal, you will not touch your promat.
This group of infantry recruits was exposed to CS gas, or tear gas, in week 1 of their training.
How many people are going to fall out of this and be just absolutely spewing, crying, let me out, let me out?
The recruits spend about 5 minutes inside the gas hut.
Oh, there they come. Caw-caw! Crowbags, caw-caw!
To flap their arms like birds.
Like craw.
To remove excess gas from their uniforms. According
It's
to the
true.
drill sergeant,
Stand-up wind.
the effects of the gas begin to wear off after about 4 minutes. Some
Okay.
programs indoors, like combatives, where recruits learn hand-to-hand self-defense tactics.
So I don't actually remember doing much of this. It wasn't like there was on the bayonet training day, there would be like get you in a ring sort of thing, and like a circle, and you would wrestle other people and all the rest of it, but it weren't anything like this. So you just sort of like throw each other around and bum each other and kiss. No, yeah, you're basically just trying to like pin each other kind of thing. But it was more the aggression, that building up the aggression sort of thing before you went on the bayonet range.
We're trying to teach them to achieve a dominant body position. So get out of one negative position and then switch roles so they end up having the upper hand in a fight.
Just because you've done this as well at this basic level does not mean you are a fucking hard cunt. Okay?
Exercise, referred to as the EO. While laying on their backs, they have to engage their core.
Okay, I'm sure you just saw the expression on my face there because I was trying to work out what the fuck they were doing. And nope, we didn't do this.
Boom.
They use their momentum, shoulder blades, their core to help them create space, warm up the body.
I like it though.
Recruits work up a major appetite during training.
Yep.
But Fort Benning is big, and they're not always within range of the dining facility.
Same.
When training in the field, recruits are issued MREs, which
Okay.
stands for meal ready to eat.
So this is a slight difference here. Obviously, when you're out training and stuff like that, and you can't go back to like the scoff house or the cookhouse or whatever you want to call it. When you can get back there, you normally get these things called horror bags, and as the name implies, it's just like a half-assed sandwich. So like a bottle of water, some other bits and pieces like a biscuit, maybe some fruit or something like that. It's not all that appetizing. I'll try and find a picture, and if I find one, it's going to be here.
Each comes with an entree, like this vegetarian.
Ooh, an entree. Ooh, I do say.
Along with an assortment of items like mixed fruit, an energy bar.
Just to clarify though, when you're out in the field, you will get what we call ration packs, which are the MRE equivalents.
And this instant French vanilla cappuccino. Recruits just add water, shake it up, and enjoy.
Just wank it off.
Once they're fortified, recruits return to their training.
Loving life.
Recruits spend up to 60 hours in training known as MOUT.
This is cool.
Military operations in urban terrain.
Door left. One man calls door left.
So obviously, it's like infantry and stuff like that. You'll be doing, or you would have been doing, like compound clearances, house clearances, etc., etc. So this stuff very important. I don't remember doing this during basic because obviously I was support role, but my infantry guys, I'm sure you'll let me know down below. Did you guys do this? You probably did, right?
Infantrymen are expected to fight on different types of terrain and survive and win the fight. Right now, they are getting their first taste of what that's like in an urban environment.
Rolling T. All right.
It looks pretty fucking hot.
In operations across Afghanistan, Iraq, we are conducting clearance operations, and it's applicable wherever we go.
Boom.
So,
it's important
bit
for
of a difference.
Future soldiers' muscle memory because they are working as a team with minimal communication, and they have to understand how that coordination works together.
Do it again.
Practice makes perfect.
After 22 weeks of training, these
Final
infantrymen
fling.
are ready to leave Fort Benning.
Okay.
Friends and family gather to watch their soldiers graduate on
And then
Italy field.
the proudest day of your life, ladies and gentlemen.
They look like soldiers. They act like soldiers. They're carrying their head high.
See, I'm going to go out on a limb on here and just say that the British Army do drill and ceremonial stuff way more better. I do English way more better than that too. Better than any army in the world.
Trainees.
And I will die on that hill.
9/11 happened. I think that's pretty powerful. That I still.
That's
can find
insane.
American citizens that want to volunteer to serve their country when we continue to ask them to go to combat.
See, that's the difference between joining now and back then. These people, like, if they did were training whilst they were still deploying to like Afghan, Iraq, etc. Like, they knew that they were going to deploy in 2009. I knew I'd be deploying after I'd passed out of basic. For those people who joined during that time, I think are of a different breed, perhaps, to the people that we might have now. But that is just a bit of a controversial take. But yeah, there you go.
These new infantrymen don't have long to greet their loved ones.
Okay.
Get on the bus!
Or say goodbye to their friends.
What's happening here
Before
then?
leaving Fort Benning to begin their service in the United States Army.
Oh shit, that's it. Well, that's it. They just get that's amazing. They're just right off you fuck. Nice one. You've been trained. Say hello to your mom and dad that have probably flown in from all over the country. In America, it's fucking huge. 10 minutes, hugs, kisses, goodbye, see in a bit. Get on that bus and fuck off. That's insane. Like, after I'd done my basic, I had I think it was like a week off, basically. Spent some time with family, friends, and then that's when I went to my phase 2 trade training, driving, blah blah blah. But even then I was like home every weekend in my phase 2, whereas phase 1 obviously you're there for that length of time. But yeah, no, that was quite an interesting insight just on the core, on the basics of US Army training. So that was 22 weeks, ours is 14. I think the Americans are actually a little bit more aggressive in some parts, but apparently the British Army is the best in the world. So a lot of similarities as well, which makes sense as when work cohesively. That we just work. Hats off to you guys over in the US. And if you're going into basic, just honestly knuckle down, get after it, smash it out. Basic training is temporary, okay? When you get out of basic and you're in the units, your regiments, whatever you guys have, Like, it is just a 9-to-5 job after that, honestly. Like, you tip up for work, you do your thing, unless you're deployed or an exercise, or I don't know what you guys call it, being out in the field. It is just 9 to 5, a lot of banter, maybe a lot of drinking, depending what you're into. But yeah, if you're going through that, good luck to you, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Oh, and the best way to support the channel as well is just giving it a like, maybe a comment, and checking out all the social media I've got down below. Thank you. Snap it.
Should I do the right things? Should I do